Thank you. Yes, next slide. Yeah, thank you. My name is Håvard Futsæter, and I work at Meteo Norway, the NHS in Norway. And I'm going to talk about the Meteo Norway Weather API. So this is a web service delivering a 10-day forecast for any location on Earth. We initially built it as a data backend for IR.no, our weather page, in 2007. But at the same time, we made it completely open for anyone. Initially, our focus were on Norwegian users, but lately we have had more focus on international users. And in 2021, we registered the service as a digital public good with the Digital Public Good Alliance. Next slide. Yes, so it's freely available to use for anyone, anywhere. There's no registration. However, you do have to identify your request by setting a self-chosen identification string for your application. There's 20 requests per second per app limit, but if you have needs above that, please contact us. The license is an open data permissive license with attribution. So you can use it for any purpose, commercial, non-commercial, as long as there's some credit to the service. So in the gray box below, you can see an example of how to access the service, just a simple Linux terminal shell access command. Next slide, please. Okay, so the content of the service comes mainly from 3 forecast models. So it's a Metgroup Ensemble Prediction System, which is a Nordic area model from the Metgroup collaboration. There's the Arome Arctic, which is Meteo Norway's Arctic forecast model. And for the rest of the world, we use ECMWF data. Before we use the data, we do quite a lot of post-processing using additional data sources. Most of the post-processing is on the Nordic areas, but we also do some post-processing and on the easy data. It's updated every hour in the Nordic areas and every 6 hours for the global area. And yes, thank you. So this is just an example of how it looks. So this is a GeoJSON time series content in the reply to each request. You can see here a lot of parameters coming for a specific time step in that time series. Next slide. Our users have a lot of different use cases, but we see 2 main ones. First one is simply getting a time series for a location to present it on a mobile app or a web page. And this is a screenshot from IR.no, from IR.no's own mobile app. And you can see that it takes the data from the service and presents the weather in a kind of visualization, a realistic visualization. And the other use case is as a data input for some kind of decision system. So for example, it's used in VIPS, which is an agricultural forecasting model, as a weather input. Next slide. We see quite a lot of usage around the world. It's so this is a heat map of usage. It's requests per day per country, in a total of about 50 million requests or about that. And you see it's dominated by US and European countries, but there's quite a lot of requests also spread evenly across the world. Yes, next slide. That's it. That's the short introduction to the service. If you want more information, we have some links to the documentation, and there's also an email list to the service team. And if you can reach me, you can do it at email or at Twitter.